Shechiyoni v'kimoni v'kiyoni lazman hazeh Baruch Hashem. We are starting the Siyata D'Shvaya, Shemona Esrei, which is Gavaldi. We're very excited about starting Shemona Esrei. We have managed to go all the way from Moed Ani up until Gal Yisrael of Shachris. We're now going to be in Shemona Esrei, which I believe to be one of the most important tefillahs that we will be explaining. I am hoping that it's going to do for you, that it did for me, that it helps my tefillah with the understanding of not only the translation of the words, but a little bit more deeper of the meaning as well. In fact, if you look at some of the Sfarim HaKadoshim, for example, the Hagdama of the Avudram, the Chovos HaLevavos brings it as well, that the Chiyuv to learn and understand the Perish HaMilos of Tefillah can actually be before any other chelik of Torah. Can you imagine? Before you learn other things, you have to understand what you're actually saying when you daven. And since davening is such a big chelik of our day and of Yiddishkeit, we have to understand what we're saying and how we're saying it, which is a very, very important idea. The Mishnah Berurah brings a Taz in Simon Kuf. He brings the Taz and he says that a person has to organize his tefillahs before he actually says it. Right? Now, it's also an important idea. Tefillah does not mean saying the words. Now, of course, you actually have to say the words, but that's not the goal. The goal is to understand them and to put meaning to it. We know the origin of Tefillah, to serve Hashem with your heart. The Gemara asks in the beginning of Masechtas Tainis, what does it mean to serve Hashem with all your heart? How do you serve Hashem with your heart? Zu Tefillah. That's what the Gemara says. Now, once again, it's not with your mouth. You're not serving Hashem with your mouth, you're serving Hashem with your heart, meaning there has to be heart within the tefillah. Within the tefillah, there has to be heart, because if there's no heart in the tefillah, you're just saying the words. And just saying the words is not enough to be able to be even yotzei the chiyuv of tefillah, and especially tefillah will get boring if all you're doing is saying the same words again and again and again. We hope that each time we daven, there's new meaning to it, and especially if we do this as well. We're going to go through Shemona Esrei. It's going to take us a while. It's not going to take us 18 shurim or 19 shurim to go through one bracha per share, but I guarantee you, I think it's worth it if every time we spend on a few words, that day that we learn those words, maybe think about those words a little bit more to understand what is going on over here, which is very, very important over here. Now, let's move on. Let's understand the origin. Where does Shemona Esrei come from? Right? It's important to understand before we go through the words, where does it originate from? So the Gemara Megillah Daf Yud Zayin Omid Beis tells us, Shemona Kippur has histi Shemona Esrei brachos defnei Rabbi Gamliel ala Seder b'Yavne. So he arranged 18 brachos of Shemona Esrei in front of Rabbi Gamliel in Yavne. This was, by the way, around the time of Churban Bayis Sheni. Okay, so around the second Beis Hamikdash time, that's when they realized that Klal Yisrael were not able and did not have the ability to simply say their own tefillah. Up until that time, what happened? Where did they daven? The answer is they davened, whether it was 3 times a day, subject to a shaila, but al koponim, they davened their own shvach, hodah, and bakoshas, right? That is a praise, a request, and a thank you, which are the 3 ikar parts of Shemona Esrei, which is the ikar of tefillah. The ikar of tefillah, for example, again, this is not halacha lemaisa, but for a woman that doesn't have an opportunity to daven, she should say a minimum of 1 shvach, 1 hodah, and 1 bakosha, which is 1 request, 1 praise, and 1 thank you. That is the minimum of tefillah. If you go through Shemona Esrei, you will recognize that the whole Shemona Esrei is split into 3 parts. There's shvach, there's hodah, and there's bakoshas in the middle, which we'll get to. But al koponim, so they were taking their own text. They were basically saying whatever they felt was the right thing to do, right? Davening was either Rambam and Ramban Machlekes, whenever you feel you need something, or at specific times during the day. However, they realized Bizman and Churban Bayis Sheni that Klal Yisrael were just not holding on the same madrega. We need a text. We need a script for them to follow, and then they organized the Shemona Esrei in that case. Now, we have to understand as well. The Gemara says, again, Megillah Yud Zayin base. Mea ve'esrim zekenim ubehem kamen neviim tiknu Shemona Esrei brachos ala Seder. We have to realize you've got 120 zekenim. Many of them were neviim that were writing our Shemona Esrei at the time of the second Beis Hamikdash, which was approximately 420 years before Gamliel in Yavne already. And some of the famous ones were Malachi as Ezra. There was even Mordechai at Tzaddik and as well. So we have over here a tefillah that was written by Nevi'im. Every word is Kodesh HaKadoshim. We could be medayik in a Shemona Esrei like you're Medaik in a Mishnah. There's no reason why not. People spend in yeshivas, whether it's right or wrong is a different shayla, many weeks on one Mishnah trying to be Medaik. What's the pshat with the Mishnah? And it's Torah and it's wonderful. Why can't we do the same thing with Shemona Esrei? It's no less than a Mishnah, and therefore we have to understand it in a very important thing. Just imagine if a person is involved in a business and some of the biggest people of that business that he's trying to open and be successful in come together for a conference or whatever it may be. And they're giving you all the advice. What would you pay? What efforts would you go through to be there at that meeting when you've got the biggest experts of the field that you're trying to be successful in there at that time? Here we have even more. We've got Nevi'im over here who made the Shemona Esrei. We have to be able to understand it. It's very, very important. The Gemara in Brachos Daf Lamed Amud Aleph tells us that the Hasidim HaRishonim would spend 4 hours just on Shemona Esrei. Right, now if you work that out, there's 500 words approximately in every Shemona Esrei. Make the calculation. That means they spend approximately 7 seconds on every single word. 7 seconds on a word of Shemona Esrei. This is Chasidim HaRishon, the Gemara Brachos Daf Lamed, tells us the concentration that they had in that case. And we'll just end with the idea how important it is for a person to have concentration, that they bring. One time somebody came over to the Manchester Rosh Hashiva, right, with Segel Zatzal, and they said to him, I want to apologize to the Rosh Hashiva. He said, apologize about what? What did you do wrong? He said, I'm really, really sorry. I felt really bad, but I've got someone in the mishpacha that needs a refuah shalema. So I figured I'm going to take the Manchester Rosh Hashiva's siddur, which is Lamaisa, his tefillahs were unbelievable. I'm going to write on the side over there, by Rafa'inu, I'm going to write a name over there, and hopefully you'll daven with him, which is great, right? During your Shemona Esrei, you're going to daven. Manchester Rosh Hashiva said, I'm so sorry, I never saw it. That means he never looked out of the margin of the siddur. Now he knew the siddur by heart, he knew Shemona Esrei by heart, he knew the Peirus HaMidrash by heart, but Al-Kaponim, he understood that every single word of Shemona Esrei is important. Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow, B'siyat D'Shmaya, we're going to go through the idea, why specifically were there 18 brachas, why was the 19th added, and then in Mitzvah Hashem, starting to talk about individual brachas. Have a wonderful day.